That's a word. Are you willing to take the streets? Or do you just want to take the freeway to success? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Kyrika Rashid Show, and I'm so glad you decided to come back for more. So what's up? What's up is just another day, you know what I'm saying? Same old shit, just a different day. Out here trying to get it each and every way. Mama need a house, baby need some food. Times are getting hard. Guess what I'ma do? Hustle, hustle, hustle. Closed mouth, don't get, sorry. That was just me saying that. That was just me saying that it's just another day of getting to the bag. We just get into the bag. That's really what's up. But anyways, look, I'm starting off track. But that's all right. That's all right. We're locked in. We're locked in. So anyways, I was watching podcasts like I usually do. This one's called Nice and Neat, and it's like 3 men, and they talk about like men stuff. They're all like 3 straight black men, traditional men, if you will. I think that's what they say on there. And they just talk about stuff that applies from their perspective. And I think they're like some of them are like pro NFL players and stuff as well. But they had Victoria Monet on, one of my faves. But it's like an old one. It's like an old one. So I'd be going back and watching it, and she was on there, and she was just talking about her process of like I don't even think it was this year. I think it was like some years ago, but like her process of like breaking out and becoming a star, if you will. I know she started off as just a songwriter for other people, and that's how she did it. She was always in the background. And like, it wasn't that she was like mad being in the background. She just worked in the background until, you know, it was time for her to get her spot in the spotlight. And so she was just talking about her experiences and all that stuff. And I like to hear people's experiences, especially when it comes to like success as well. And she had said, and I hope I quote this right, but she was like, you know, a lot of people want the success, but if you have to take the streets to get there versus the freeway, are you willing to take the streets? I was like, that's a word. Are you willing to take the streets? Or do you just want to take the freeway to success? Like, she was saying, like, are you willing to take the streets if it means that the streets are going to get you to success? You know what I'm saying? Like, the analogy is the streets is the longer way to the destination. Freeway, fast track, get you there, boom. But like, are you for the streets? Are you for the streets? Basically, she's saying, are you down for the come up? Because my dog was in the streets, turning left, turning right, at the stop sign, at the stop light, at the crosswalk. And you know, just now she is like popping off to the mainstream. So that's what she was saying. And that's the inspiration for this episode. Is you down for the come up? Are you for the streets? So what happened was, I told you, we're continuing from Victoria Monet. And my dog, even though she don't know me, my dog has been in the game for so long. She's just, you know.
On my mama, on my hood, I like,
That's my shit for real. But like, she been in the business, or a lot of times when I'm watching and listening to podcasts, a lot of them are like, it takes somebody, I don't know who said this, but somebody said it takes like 10 years to be like an overnight success. because everybody just sees you, you know, in your recent success, but you've been really in the streets. You've been in the streets doing the work for a long time. But don't nobody see that. They just see, oh, all of a sudden they just came out of nowhere. But nah, bro. I've been doing this. I've been here. But don't nobody see that. So that's just what they was talking about. And that's what she was talking about. Then I'm thinking about me, and I'm like, I ain't never been able to take the freeway. Even if I wanted to take the freeway, I didn't always have to take the streets. I didn't have to take the long route. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I got plenty of examples. I don't think they're gonna be in order. But the one I got right now is, let's talk about college. First gen. I was first gen, bro. Like, my parents, my dad, he dabbled in college, but then they had me at 20, so then they had to work. He just went to work. He eventually got his associates, but like, they didn't know. They didn't know what it was gonna be like for me to go somewhere else and go to college. Then on top of that, be a student athlete. There wasn't much to give. There was nobody who set that blueprint for me of what it was supposed to be. The only reason why I even got that idea, it wasn't even from my parents. Like, I just seen it as a way out. So I seen other people and I seen the sports. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get a taste of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's, when I got to college, we're taking the streets towards that direction. It's not like somebody was here laying the foundation, like, yeah, this is what you gotta do to do this, this is what you gotta do to do that. No, girl, like, we didn't even know how to do this. I remember me and my godmom, we didn't know how to do none of the recruiting process. So obviously, like, we leaned on like my AAU coaches and stuff, but we was sitting in and it's funny now, but it was like innocent because we didn't know what to do. But we was just sending a bunch of like emails to college coaches and like the programs. Like, if we're being fucking for real, like, to ones that I wasn't gonna get. You know? You know what I'm saying at the time? Because like, girl, be for real. But we was just trying. We was just doing stuff because we didn't know what to do. We didn't have the blueprint. We didn't have the blueprint, y'all. But that's how we was getting out the streets. That's how we was getting out the streets. We was using connections. We was figuring out. We seen people who may have, you know, been a part of my AAU team doing that. And that's how we got there. And then we got to college, like, nobody told me how to do college. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck you do this? And then when I did 5 years, when I did a 5-year bid, didn't nobody tell me about that. Don't nobody know about no 5-year bid. I, first to get the masters, first gen, you know what I'm saying? Subtle flex, you feel me? But it's like, didn't nobody know. Didn't nobody know. Okay, now let's talk about sports, right? Let's talk about, so it's the trajectory of all my teams. I don't know why, but that's just what the common theme was. So when I got to high school, when I really started playing,
we were trash. Garbage.
basura.
Really bad. Muy mal.
And yeah, we started from the bottom and then ended up, you know, my senior year, we went to like the semis, and I think we ended up getting like 4th place or something because we got like a big tournament or whatever. And like, when you just think about that, it's like I'm just used to building the foundation, starting from the bottom. Then when I get to college, because all I needed was opportunity, you feel me? I didn't know nothing about what an NAU was. Never heard of it. Nothing. Never thought about it. Then I got there.
Boo. Basura.
Caca. Muy mal.
Right? Started from the bottom, ended up moving. I think we got to the championship game my senior year. And it was like starting the foundation, building a culture. Used to getting it out the mud. Starting from the bottom, now we're here. Taking the streets. That's what we talking about here. That's what we talking about. So all of those, like, in my sports, it was like, We taking the streets, man. This is what we do. Like, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. I'm trying to think, like, in track, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to throw nothing. Running, not too much. I had to stop. They tried to let me do hurdles. What's going on? Did it once, never did it again. Did a couple long jumps. Didn't work for me. But the throwing sure did. I didn't know how to do any of that. Started from the bottom and then ended up going to state. I don't know how, but did it. Then they're like, oh, you could go to college. And I was like, not too much. Not too much. Volleyball. Mind you, volleyball was like my first sport. And I got mad love for volleyball, man. Like, I'd play to this day if I could, for real. And like, I wouldn't say my teams were like boo-boo. But I just feel like in all the themes, we got better. We got better. Even with my AAU team, we wasn't boo, but it was like we started something that nobody had ever done before. We built this foundation, then we ended up winning like an AAU national championship. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I understand the concept of starting from the bottom, getting it out the mud, building the foundation. It's in me, not on me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm used to it. I'm used to it. Then, so this, well, then the other one is like pro level. And this is in connection with my agent as well. Because I'm talking to my dog. I'm talking to her all summer. I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? What they saying? Kai, they saying you too short. They saying you too short. They saying you undersized. They saying this, they saying that. Come on, man. And that's the same thing that happened to me in high school. Oh, you finna have to do this, I get to college, your girl's still playing the 5. How is she doing that? So then when I get to bros, oh, so you too small. It's the same old shit, just a different day. I'm not gonna sing it again, but you get the point here. Even the pro level for me, we're getting it out the mud. It's not just, oh, you're landing here and it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of this got to do with the work. All of this got to do with the work. But see, another thing I want to talk about, and this it's on topic, but off topic. It's like, I'm thinking about faith, how they say faith without works is dead. And if you're going to take the streets to get to success, you got to have faith. But the streets is more work. And that's where the work come in when you in the streets. You got that faith that destination is at the end. But you doing the left, the right, the straight, the stop sign, the green light, the red light. You know what I'm saying? It's all these things that's happening. You got a pedestrian, then you got the truck coming, then you might be in traffic. You know what I'm saying? Then it might rain one day on the street. You know, like you could be walking. It's like, but at the end of the day, you keep going in them streets. Because you see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see it. That's that faith. But when you in them streets, you gots to work. You gots to. And I think that's like the essence of being for the streets. Now, would you prefer that? Would you prefer that? Let's be for real. No. Like I said, if I could have took the freeway, I would have taken the freeway. But I couldn't take the freeway. But like, if I could, I would have. But there's something about taking the long streets. You know, you might find a shortcut here and there. You feel me? Where you just learn. You learn a lot. You learn what hard work is. You learn how to pull yourself up. You learn how to build a foundation. You see a lot more. You experience a lot more when you're in the streets. The freeway, you just on the road in a straight path and you there. Gotta get off to the exit and you're gonna be right there. There's a lot less to see when you're on the freeway. But when you're in the streets, you might get a little bit more active. You feel me? Another topic, we could talk about relationships, platonic and romantic. We didn't have to take the streets for that. Now, I ain't for the streets romantically. But we didn't have to be in the streets for that. Because when you grow up similar or like how I've grown up, there weren't too many relationships that were healthy around you. The friendships that I witnessed, like for my mom, they were not great friendships. One minute they might have been boxing each other, and the next minute they was bestie again. I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on. Are you friends or are you not friends? Like, is y'all in or like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be fighting my friends, but it's like, is this how friendship works? Romantic relationships. I briefly talked about it before. Like, first of all, my mom and dad, no, they didn't give. They weren't really meant for that. You know, no. The answer was no. Then my mom got into a domestic violence relationship. What am I learning from that? I'm trying to think. Then, you know, you think of like relationships when you're younger, it's like, it's all the stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking my friendships, my romantic partners, all of that stuff is gonna have to be figured out. I'm gonna have to change a narrative to make something that I didn't see. And that's easier said than done. Because it's like, that's all I saw. You feel me? That's all I saw. And even like, okay, so even like my mom's friends and their relationships was also like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I supposed to do with this information? I gotta change the narrative. I gotta rebuild the foundation. Like, I've always had to shift. I've had to shift the narrative, even when I didn't realize what I was actually doing. But we did that. And we're still doing it because ain't no ring on my finger and ain't no man, you know what I'm saying? Still to this day. But we could talk about like my friendships. Nina, probably the healthiest relationship that I've ever had, but we had to get it out the mud. We had to get it out the mud because when I came into it and when I met her and her as well, I was just bringing what I saw. And I was trying to be different than what I saw. But it's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like an example, I'm not gonna go too far. But example, like in my friendships, because I don't like yelling, because I always seen yelling, you know what I'm saying, associated with negativity. So I'm a person who suppresses anger a lot, or like that, you know, yelling and negative emotion. So if I got mad, I would just go silent treatment. Because I was like, well, it's the opposite of yelling, so it's gotta be better. It's not, okay? Like, what's wrong with you? But that's all I know. You know what I'm saying? Hands up. Hands up. We're not doing that anymore, though. We're not doing it anymore. So I'll be wanting to sometimes. But we're not doing that. So now what? I know in the beginning I said, she's for the streets. You know what I'm saying? But if we're being for real, I don't want to always be for the streets. I'm just going to go ahead and be honest with you. But I understand the streets. I think understanding the streets comes with, you know, wisdom. Like, you gain knowledge. You gain great things for being in the streets. But if I could be real with y'all, I've been in the streets for so long. Like, can I take the freeway? Can I take the freeway? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll be like, God, can you dog just take the freeway right quick? Can I get you know what I'm saying? Can I get this luxury? But it seems like for me, I be having to take the longer routes in every stage of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really think of one thing where I was like, I was definitely on the freeway there. I can't think of that. I just feel like everything I didn't have to do, they said, oh, you finna have to take the streets. You finna have to get on the bus. And not the bus that gets on the freeway, the bus that takes the streets. you know, if you got on the subway or whatever, it may be cut your time in half, but no, you need to take the streets. But I don't want to be for the streets the whole time, y'all. Get me out the streets. Get me out the streets. But I understand it. I understand it. And I understand the work behind it. So that means for me, I think I'm more willing to do the hard work. I think it comes more naturally. Like, okay, that's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. Okay, then I'm gonna do it until I get to the next stage. I'm gonna do it because this is what I have to do to get to what I want to do. I just have that mentality more times than not. And having that mentality, it's like, it's just always like hard work pays off, or you see the fruits of your labor eventually. So it's like with basketball in college, like towards the end, I started to see the fruits of my labor and like really started going off towards the end. And I'm like, oh, like, girl, you can really do this. You know what I'm saying? Like college, like I got a master's degree. Flex, you know what I'm saying? Flex. Now, to be determined. I don't know about the romantic relationship. We still in the streets for that. We still in the streets. But like, as far as my friendships, like Nina is my dog, but I think I can still grow, you know what I'm saying, in there. And I got, I've started to build friends or like be better with creating and continuing certain friendships and connections that I've made. So I got dogs spread all over, but I need to visit them and they need to visit me. And Rashawn, if you watch this, you know better. You know what I was gonna say, because y'all, he could have visited me, he didn't. But anyways, yeah, so we still trying to figure out what's finna shake being in the streets with this romantic shit, for real. I don't got nothing for that, for real. As far as like my professional hoops, right? We still trying to figure that out too, because I just got in the game, you know, I'm a young bull in this thing, you know what I'm saying? I still feel like I'm like in the working stage, the worker stage, where I'm just going like, one day, I don't know what day, I think this is the part where it's just the work, and then eventually, I don't know what day or what year it's gonna be when I see the fruits of those labors. Oh, I almost forgot the podcast. Duh. So right now, podcast is in like a working stage for real, like really grind mode, really stay down for the come up when it comes to this, because all the podcasts I watch and like research where they talk about not a lot make it to 100 episodes, and you know, some people do it for years before they're actually like, before they blow up or they see or they monetize off of it. But you know what? I'm down for the come up. You feel me? I'm down for the come up. I only got like 12 episodes, so like, if we're being for real, like that's small, but like that's big. It's big, you know what I'm saying? We made it past 10 episodes, but that's another thing. But we believe it. We believe it. Faith without works is dead. I got the faith. It's coming. I don't know when, but we working. Don't bother me, I'm working. Don't bother me, I'm working. People think I'm doing stuff. I be working. Now, I do like being alone and in the room a lot. I do be anti. But I don't just be laying around. I'm getting active. Another thing I'd say is my communication. Now, I know I didn't give I kind of gave an example about my communication where, you know, what I learned is that I don't like yelling, because what I seen with yelling is that it leads to fights and it's all this stuff. So I just thought to be mute and not say nothing. That ain't it. So I think I've been in the streets with communication as far as like learning how to express emotion, negative emotion, how to accept those negative emotions because they're okay, and to like not suppress them. We're still in the work mode of that. I have also seen the impact with that as well, in the way that I communicate with, everyone in my life. Because when I tell you, if I was like back in the day, I'd be mad more often than not right now. Right now, if I didn't up my communication skills as well. So that's another improvement. But yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got. So I have a question. Are you for the streets? Are you for the streets? Are you down for the come up? Huh? 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 Let me chill out. But another question I have is, are you waiting for your moment, or have you had it already? And I believe when you leveled up to different stages in your life, there are different moments to be had. So I feel like this answer is maybe twofold, where you could be waiting for your moment, but you could have also had your moment as well. Easy example, basketball. I was waiting for my moment in high school for somebody to believe in me. Got picked up, and AU believed in me. And then when I got there, I just need to prove to myself that I belonged there. And then eventually it showed. Your girl belonged. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Are you waiting on that moment? I said that in the beginning. I said that in another episode. But yeah. What is it? What is it as well? What moment are you waiting for? And what moments have you had as well? So I just asked like 4 questions in one. And my last and final question is, what does success look like to you? And this can be in any areas of your life. Because I think as I've grown, it's changed. I think being for the streets and talking about taking the hard way towards the end goal of success, I think there are different facets of it depending on what part of your life you're talking about. And I think your mindset of success can change. The goal of success can change. But what is it for you? That's a wrap. That's a wrap, y'all. This has been another episode of the Kyreka Rashid Show. And I'm so glad she decided to come back to me. Get at me.